I ran off in a huff last night. Can't believe it. I was just too mad. I really had to cool down for a while. I was so mad. So that's how I feel about the situation where if you were watching last night. In summary, I live in New York, and 9/11 happened in New York, and I never bought it. Never. Oh, it never made sense. And that back then, when it happened, the next day, oh, Patriot Act is ready to go. We have all of these new violations of the Constitution ready to go. There you go. That's all I needed to know. That's all I needed to know. Unbelievable. They think we're idiots. Uh, anyway, so I'm mad. I am still mad. I was mad then. I'm mad now. And I'm mad that I live in a state that is protecting the people who did 9/11. And that says everything about the state I live in and the people that run it. Um, so I got so mad about it. And I live in the Hamptons. And I know a lot of the people who did 9/11 live in the Hamptons. Why? How do I know that? Because I watched them get 5 times richer. That's how I found out. Okay. So that made them a lot of money. Okay. Oh, guess what else made them a lot of money? Something that happened in 2020. Okay, it's the same exact people. We need a real trial about 9/11. And if we can't get one, we need to start exposing the people who did 9/11 constantly. You know what? We could do that. That's easy. That's actually very easy. Wow, is that easy? I could do that starting very soon. Who did 9/11 is known. Victor Ostrowski told us who was about to do 9/11. Okay. Who did 9/11 is the easiest thing in the world. Okay. So, okay. Anyway, obviously, this is a little bit of a subject for me. Okay. Because if we dealt with the 9/11 criminals at the time, and so many of us would have loved to see that happen, particularly the people who lost their spouses, and some of those people lost their lives when they didn't take the money. Okay. This is a real 9/11 story. And I do not remember this woman's name. But when 9/11 happened, the wives or whatever, the spouses, the families were angry and they all were offered tons of money. Wasn't there something like that at Sandy Hook too? There's a lot of these things where a lot of people get a lot of money shoved in their mouth. Okay. And that's what happened in 9/11 because money they have, money's easy for them to get. They have a Ponzi scheme that magically creates money for them. So they can pay off anybody. They would have paid me off. They would pay anybody off. That's plan A, is pay everybody off. So they paid these people off to shut them up about their loved ones who were murdered in a satanic ritual. How do I know that that was a satanic ritual that murdered those people? Because there is a book that shows every single dark occult fact about 9/11. Sirius, the star Sirius, and the numbers. Just read the book, The Most Dangerous Book in the World. That's the book. And there's no question. There's no question. It was a ritual. And that ritual made them a lot of money. Okay, fine. So let's get me so mad I can't do it tonight. Anyway, so what happens the next day? I have this utterly bizarre situation where I'm telepathic with my favorite musicians. I love it. If you telepathic with me, I love it. I want to hear anything that you guys have to say. You're geniuses. So, and I'll tell you something else about my life. Since we're here, I used to be a writer. I used to be a painter. I used to be a clothing designer. I used to be a screenwriter. What else did I used to be? I used to be a celebrity photographer. I used to be a photographer. I used to be all kinds of things. But it never mattered how good I got at things because I didn't have a publicist. I didn't have an agent. I didn't have a manager. I didn't have anyone to gift me that career, that wonderful career that is gifted to other people when they allow their mouths to be stuffed with money. That's all you have to do is open your mouth. They'll stuff the money in, and then that person loses all their I don't know what happens to them. I guess they live a life of compromise, which is what we're talking about every single day. And I live a life of compromise too, because I'm here, I'm still here. And that's why I have been so adamant about not going along with it. I find it unacceptable. Anyway, so back when I was trying to be a writer or trying to be a painter or trying to be a whatever, I understood there was no way that I was ever going to get anywhere without an agent. Okay. And the funny thing is now I have a million agents now. I get tons, I got tons of them. But they're working against me. But are they? That's what I've been wondering. I've been wondering about that for years. They've been helping me so much. How could they possibly have helped me more? Yes, I'm under permanent quarantine. Okay. I kind of was before anyway. Anyway. So let's just say I understand what promotion is. Okay. I understand the role it plays in art. I understand that somebody can be uh, unbelievable. They could be Da Vinci plus Einstein plus Newton, and they're not going to get anywhere without an agent. So I'm trying to show you how things are controlled. Okay. It's not a question of who's talented. It's a question of can you get representation? And that dynasty controls the representation. Okay. And that's what you're seeing here. You're seeing there can't be a rogue publicist. There can't be rogue representation. There can't be anything outside of their closed system. This is how they control the perceptions of the public through the musicians, actors, all of these characters that they create, all of these I'm not going to say any names, but oh, he's so brilliant at this and he's an expert. Oh, and he's so amazing at that and he knows everything. I don't believe any of it anymore. Okay? I used to I'm not going to say names. Anyway, so I'll just drop it. Anyway, so I'm happy to be a publicist. I'm happy to do whatever I can to resolve publicity problems that geniuses are having, because I really empathize with them and I understand whatever they do. If no one sees it, it doesn't matter how good it is. They really need a representation that is on their side, and I don't see them having that. Okay, I don't. Maybe they're wonderful people, but I don't see it. Okay. And I've had experiences with Elvis's side of things. And hopefully that's all wonderful now. I doubt it. But anyway, I can't get to, I don't know what I'm going to do. Anyway, so I'm watching Elvis's. I can't believe all the things I just said, but it's over. I'm watching Elvis Costello's YouTube like a hawk. Okay. Anything that happens on there, I'm going to notice it. Okay. So this morning, I go and check that YouTube out because there's so much cool stuff on there, and he throws me loops, I think. So I don't know I don't even know what's going on with most things. It looks like TikTok videos. I don't even know what he's doing. But I can't share those videos, so I have to go find the original video. I don't know what he knows. I don't know what he thinks, but I know what's going on my end, and that's what I usually do. He's like, "Oh, it's a TikTok video. I'll go see if I can find like the underlying video because I can't share the thing." And anyway, so I put the underlying video of Elvis's TikTok selection today. I don't even know what it is, and it's him and Alan Mees, who I I I don't know Alan Mees, but I kind of love him. So everything about him is right up my alley. He's spunky. He's talented. He's uh, he is similar. He is similar to Elvis. He has a really great energy, and a sort of the funny thing about Elvis is he's so, I don't want to say miserable, but there's like this cloud over him, which is lifting. To some degree, is lifting. Oh my goodness, what are we gonna do about this astrology? Because that cloud is in his chart, unfortunately. I can't even blame him for it. He's got really afflicted feelings. I have very afflicted relationships in my chart, and my emotions are very afflicted also. But I understand the pain of that. It's very hard to get past these astrological aspects. Once you understand them, you're like, oh my goodness, it keeps happening. But his emotional pain is really in his chart. Whenever I look at his chart, I feel really, oh my goodness, how does he live with that? It must be horrible. It seems like it's even worse than mine. So anyway, but I feel like he needs to be around someone who's like kind of light. And Alan's a little bit lighter, you know? And so the funny thing, I mean, I mentioned something on the astrology report today, which I'm about to go into. So if you want to know where I'm going to the astrology report on the blog. And I wrote something kind of personal about my situation with Elvis and this telepathy that's going on. And he just couldn't possibly be more the opposite of what I would think of him. I can't believe what a terrible opinion I had of him. I feel terrible about it, but I was wrong. You know, I was totally wrong, and um, and I like being wrong. I like when I'm wrong because then I can be right again. Go back to being right. So anyway, it's terrible. Anyway, so I do feel him and I do hear him, and he challenges me so much in such a great way. And I really do think he's my twin flame, and I can see myself in him, you know, and I think he sees himself in me, and he can see like what's wrong with me better than I can, and I want to drop the fear. I want to drop everything. I don't need these things anymore. I look real afraid, but no, I don't want it to hold me back. I don't want to be limited. I don't want anything like that. Of course, I mean, there's no argument. Like I want to hold on to my fear. Not at all. I want to move on. This is not a life what we've been leading here. This is terrorism. We live under terrorism. We're constantly being terrorized. Oh my goodness, can we get out of terrorism? Well, a trial about 9/11 could help us move past this regime of terrorism because they are terrorizing us on purpose. They're dividing us on purpose. They're fomenting wars on purpose. They're demoralizing us on purpose. They are continually attacking us. They take what's good from us, our labor and our heart and our attention, and then they war on us with it, and they steal everything from us. And the people in my state, New York, are very central to keeping them in power, and that hurts me a lot. It hurt me a lot to find out that my country is a complete total lie. Even it looked like a government agent was telling me that the Revolutionary War was a farce, and he was doing that to kind of trick me into trusting him. Okay, so that's my reality. That's my reality. Okay. Someone in the government said, "Yeah, you're right. You're right. Revolutionary War was BS. Trick me to trust me." He gave me, yeah, he showed it to me. They know who they work for. It's ridiculous. People, they know, okay? So we're the ones you don't know, okay? So speaking of that, to show you that us nobodies, we don't know, but they do know. Don't think they don't, okay? Just because we don't know doesn't mean they don't know. So anyway, there's one line on this TikTok video on Elvis's channel, okay? And I pay attention to everything he does. Every number, I will break it down. I'll add it up. I'll subtract it. Everything he does. I'm trying to like, if I have the time, which I don't, but if I can, I broke down the numbers that he put up on his TikTok. And he said, back in the summer of 72, we were performing 5 or 6 nights a week, and I was still in school, something like that. Okay, that adds up to 9/11. Okay, so it's summer 72. I don't know how he does this. That's 9. I was playing 5 or 6 nights a week. That's 5 plus 6 is 11. He's saying 9/11 right there. Okay, and he did the same thing in the video Magnificent Hurt. It's ridiculous. The puppets are playing cards, and if you decode the cards, it says 9/11. So he knows that this is the key, and I know it's the key too. But he's reminding me. Maybe it's just a coincidence. Anyway, who knows? All right, so that is worth noting. I like all this. This is a big game. It is a big game. Everybody get involved and follow your guidance, and then let's win and fine. Let's have a party. Let's have fun. Let's have live music. Let's not have a two-tiered society where the people who help the criminals get everything and then everybody else gets quarantined when they're healthy or not. Uh, quar- do you see they're doing this on purpose? This is all because they want a big war. You see, they're creating a two-tiered society where one group gets everything and the other group gets to like die in the street. What that's fomenting a war, right? They're creating that. They're engineering us into this. Okay, that's the regime we live under that banking dynasty that murdered Napoleon. They do this on purpose because they want us to have World War III. And then when we have World War III, they're going to get that body count that they're so excited about seeing. Now, you want to see body count, go into the trial of Henry Kissinger by Christopher Hitchens. That's when you're talking the 40,000, 40 million, the millions, okay? And they get away with killing millions. And they continue and they keep going. So they're killing millions, decade after decade. They're killing millions of people, and no one stops them. And my state is not doing a trial about 9/11 that could save all of us. We could all be saved from this regime if only New York. Is anyone heroic in New York? Heroic enough to actually do the right thing and have that trial so we can be saved from this regime that exterminates millions upon millions of people? China, Russia, Cambodia, Vietnam. Oh, I could go on. I could go on. Okay, but you see, they like to go to the places where there's less publicity, and then they like to move into the places that have more publicity, like the United States and Europe. You see, they have to say the United States and Europe for last, but they've been at it. Okay, all these other poor, unfortunate countries who've had to endure this dynasty, uh, um, genociding them, and now they're working on us. So I mean, everybody knows who's awake and thinking knows we can't just sit by and let them kill us. And I, they're not even safe with each other. These are criminally insane people. And I mean, I want you to know what I think's going on with them. I probably shouldn't even say this, but I really do think that there is a very serious spiritual dimension to this. I'll tone it down a little bit, but there's a spiritual dimension to this, okay? This is not how like just regular people behave. This is how I'm hijacked too, but hopefully by good spirits, I hope, but I'm not killing people. I'm not. I'm not. But they are. So, you can imagine who has the better spirits in them. But I definitely do have spirits influencing me. There's no question about that. But that's why I think they have them too. They're just very murderous, dishonest spirits. There are different kinds of spirits, obviously. So I'm gonna go ahead and say this. They're into transhumanism, like they're trying to turn into robots. Something like Luke Skywalker in Star Wars, like they want to be animatronics or something. I see this everywhere, and I see them pushing it on us. Like we're supposed to think that it's cool to be a robot or something, or it's so wonderful. Anyway, I strongly suspect that there's a spiritual component to this. That the spirits that are really running this whole thing don't want to have to worry about changing bodies anymore. Something like that. Because look, a person only lives 100 years. And I want to know how they like live to 105 the way they do. How are they still working at 98 years old, How does that work? These people are they're doing something different than what we're doing. And I wonder if it involves blood. I highly suspect it involves blood because you see them at 105 and they're kicking. And it's like, wow, we're not kicking in 105. What are they doing over there? You know, does it have something to do with all that trafficking? Does it have to do with all those private planes? Does it have to do with, what does it have to do with? Does it have to do with all those missing children? What is going on? We deserve to know, and whoever they're killing deserves to not be killed anymore. Anyway, so I spent a lot of time. I'm gonna just go ahead and get off that subject. who's the dark one. Anyway, so I spent a ton of time practicing guitar. So I've been working on this how to play guitar and why, and we'll see if I can ever get good. So I'm working at that, and I'm working at astrology. So I can't put up as many songs, which I really don't like, but uh, I think it's so important to set the precedent that we're better off learning guitar, we're better off learning astrology, or we're better off doing anything except listening to their media. And that's part of why I was so excited about how to play guitar and why. Because it's like giving you something else to think about, giving you a better focus, helping you channel your energy into a productive, in a better direction. So anything like that is wonderful. And I'm putting a lot of energy into like locking down this astrology idea that we're working on. So the idea is that we will take the ideas that are out there, just the standard ideas about astrology, what Mercury, Venus, Mars, it's uncontested at this point. And then other things are contested. Um, what are the effects of Chiron, or what are the effects of Black Moon Lilith? And um, the astrologers are still studying it. Well, we can study it too, and we can find out what we experience, and we'll help with the research, because this is a serious discipline. It's redundant anyway, but we'll work at it. And that the really great thing about this blog is that we can really go deep into subjects. And why don't they go deep into things on TV and stuff? I mean, why is everything so superficial? It's on purpose. They could be doing this just like I can. They could be teaching people or making real findings. They could be doing productive things on TV. It's on purpose that they're not. Anyway, so we're working on learning about George Ivan Van Morrison's chart. And we're trying to find out everything we can about him, because um, he's just such a great example of someone that we do know something about him. This is not somebody who was on Friends in the 90s who we've been told all kinds of nonsense about them. This is someone who has a vast body of work. Those are his words. You know what he can do. You know what his attitudes are. You have a very good idea of who Van Morrison is. He's been very real. So this is an incredible opportunity to really study astrology and to see, is it going to match up to what we know of George Ivan Morrison? We could really find something out here, and then we can compare his chart with Elvis's chart. They have a lot in common. A lot. They're both geniuses. They're both from the UK. They're both of the same generation. They're one is a great fan of the other. I don't know if the other's a great fan, but I know Elvis loves Van Morrison. I know he loves him. Loves him. Anyway, that I know. I know that. I've known that too. Elvis is a huge fan of his. Elvis is such a big fan. I love that about him. I love that he's a fan. That's so endearing. Such an endearing thing about him. So, we're both huge, huge fans of Van Morrison. And so today I focused in on Van Morrison's Venus, which is such a great thing to look at, because we all, hopefully by now, we know what Venus is. Venus is love, relationships, um, how you relate to others, how you are charming, how you are seductive, how you entertain guests, how you dress, how beautiful you are, all these things. This is all Venus. It's your love. It's money and what you value, and do you value yourself? All these things. What kind do you value yourself more than others? I said that wrong. Do you value yourself more than others? No, I said it right. Okay, anyway. So this is a man who writes love songs. This is a passionate man. This is a guy who he wears his heart on his sleeve. So he is an artist, and he makes beautiful music. So Venus is going to be so important. to this Venus should show us something about him because he's an artist, and his Venus is in Leo at the right at the beginning of Leo. So he's a grand Venus, and he's like the sun, and he's so famous, and he's so big, and he's so warm and benevolent, generous, and he can handle being in the spotlight. So that's Leo energy. So there you go. There's your Libra. I said it wrong. Venus and Leo. So he's a Venus and Leo. I think it I think it shows. So I wrote out, I pasted all of these descriptions of what Venus in Leo is, and it did sound like him because he's a big star, you know. So that works. So it's about as obvious as it gets. That one fits. Okay, and he's got Saturn, but not that close. Okay, so I'm not going to say it's a conjunct with Saturn, but it almost is. So let's just say Saturn's lurking near Venus. So that could be restrictions or some kind of bummer in the love area. And it's not really making aspects except with Venus barely. So he always has like a little bit of a trapped Saturn there. It's not flowing. It's in Cancer. Oh no, I have Saturn in Cancer. I feel your pain. You're never comfortable at home. You know, I've heard that about George Ivan. Again, I don't know if this is true, but that, he likes to be on the road, but when he's on the road, he likes to be home. But when he's home, he likes to be on the road. That's a Saturn and Cancer feeling, I think. If that's true, I probably is though. Um, yeah, I have that too. But boy, he's got something so lucky compared to what I have because I have Saturn in the third house in Cancer. Okay. So I have restrictions on my communication. I want you to know something. I actually realized something about myself today when I was reading about the wonderful luck of having Venus in the third house. It made me think about how unlucky I've been to have Saturn in the third house. And well, it does hurt. It definitely does hurt to have it there. So I I can't be famous. I can't communicate. I don't even express myself as beautifully as they do. And the most important thing that's hurt me the most, and I'm just begging for heaven to help me with this, and this has hurt me a lot. And I can't believe how much this has hurt me for something which is really trivial, but it has hurt me a lot. I used to be I think I used to be Hortense de Beauharnais, and I wasn't always aware of it, but I'm pretty sure now. And she was a famous musician. That's what's so funny about all this. And she wasn't just a famous musician because she was Napoleon's stepdaughter. She was really good. And still, she doesn't get the respect she deserves because she was like me. She told on them. You tell on them, forget it. It doesn't matter how talented you are. She was really talented. But everything about her has been shut up, just like they did with me. They're treating me the same as how they treated her. And they're doing the same things to Elvis that they did to Napoleon. I'm trying to show this. Anyway, so she was a really great musician. She had a very unhappy life, but she at least could write music. And I can't. I can't write music. And I'm not even that good at music. So and I know it was her. And I know it's in me. So I'm talking about his trapped Saturn. I have Saturn in the third house. It's blocking my communication. It makes me think that maybe that's what's going on. Maybe that's why I can't express myself musically. It's Cancer can be music. Why not? It's emotional. It's the moon, mother, female, the past. Uh, we'll see. Maybe I'll figure it out. But George Ivan he has Venus in the third house, And that's a wonderful place to have the Venus, because he can communicate beautifully, and he can be very charming, and he can express himself. I really wish I had Venus in the third house. Hopefully, I can set this block free. But that's why I go on and on and on and on about how much how to play guitar and why means to me, and how I do make it a priority to practice as much as I can, and just how important this is to me. And then George Ivan and Elvis, like, they're such musical geniuses, and it's so incredible, and I just admire it so much. But I would love to be able to express myself musically, but I can't. It's really, I would love for that to change. Anyway, so these two they can express themselves musically, and I'm more than happy to do whatever I can to support them, and just whatever I can do to honor your beautiful work. And I know what it is. I'm gonna cry to not have a publicist. I don't think you guys really have publicists, but whatever, whatever. Gonna not get into it. Anyway, oof, I'm telling my story, and it is very congruent. To wrap this up, I have been rambling too much, but what I discovered is I went through these aspects and I looked at George Ivan's Venus, and he has a sextile with Neptune, very spiritual. He's a sextile with Chiron, hurt, hurt, and spiritual. There's a great pain here, and Jupiter, great pain. That's very magnified, but ultimately godly and beneficial. That's his saint area that I've been talking about. That stellium of Jupiter, Chiron, and Neptune screams saint to me, and it's sextile Venus, and sort of Saturn, and it's in Libra. So this is an artist and a saint who is of love, involving love. He's what I see about George Ivan. He has a great destiny, and he has a great purpose for being here. And this chart's telling me that he's here to really transform things and to bring us to a place of greater love. And he has it in him. He has it in him to do this. This is very beautiful. And I want to draw attention to this Venus sextile Chiron aspect. And this is so interesting because Chiron is an asteroid, and it is, when was it discovered? It's not sure. I know what I want to say, but I'm gonna not say because I hate being wrong. So we don't know everything about Chiron. We don't know exactly what effect Chiron has. We can only study it. And what we found out today was that a lot of musicians have Chiron in an aspect with Venus. Not everybody has that at all. And yet we found over and over and over and over again that very creative people who are like known for suffering, great artists, have Chiron in an aspect with Venus. We really found that out. I found that out today. So George Ivan has Venus sextile Chiron. What does that mean? It means he's wounded in the area of love and relationships, and that wound that he's enduring is to show him what he needs to learn, so he can drop that thing, whatever it is, and he can easily do it, and nothing's holding him back. It's like the pain is the indicator, and the indicator will tell you what to drop, and it'll go easily. We're in a new era now. We don't have to carry those things around with us anymore. We can move on. We can embrace a new day. That's what this is all about. I know it's a nightmare dealing with this dynasty, but this is all about quickly getting us somewhere else. And we just have to do our job and follow our guidance, and we're going to do that. Yeah, this is a great mission. It's a great opportunity. I mean, they're so evil. It's unbelievable, but I know I'm getting all philosophical about it, but we're supposed to do this, and we just need to do it. There's a way. So so then after I realized there was this wounding with love and relationships, we I went and looked at all the other charts that I'm looking at. So the charts that I'm looking at specifically are Napoleon's chart. I'm looking at Hortense's chart because she had an unusual life, and I know everything about her. I look at Elvis's chart, I look at my chart, and I look at George Ivan's chart, and we just look for patterns. And I look at the synastry between me and George Ivan, and we have Venus square Chiron in our synastry. So uh, George Ivan's George Ivan's Venus, okay, is square my Chiron, and it's almost on my ascendant. Okay, so this is something you're gonna really see in the 12th house, my Chiron. Okay, so think about it. I'm the wounded one, and he's the beautiful one. Okay, so think of it that way. In this one little area, okay, and I'm so wounded in Aries. Okay, so I'm wounded in a like almost like in an abused way. Think about it. Aries is like violent and brutish. Okay, so I'm wounded in a brutish sort of way. Okay, because I have a wound. I'm Chiron here. See, and it's square George Ivan's Venus in Leo. Okay, so it's this like resplendent, beautiful Venus, the greatest, uh, the greatest archangel ever kind of energy is his. And mine is like abuse victim, and it's painful. There's a problem. We're like fighting. That's what the aspect is. We're having like a fight. I'm like so wounded and hurt, and he's like, I want you to do something different. And I'm like, I'm all wounded and hurt. That's what's happening here. Anyway, so I'm just trying to give you an idea of how these energies work. Okay, so I showed all of the aspects between me and George Ivan with Venus, how we would relate. Well, we've never met each other, but we do relate, so you can, even though we've never met each other or spoken to each other or anything like that, we do relate, such as it is. And you guys know how I relate to him. It's all out in the open. Okay, so Venus opposition Jupiter. Okay, so I'm Jupiter and he's the Venus. Interesting. All right. So I'm having a big effect on him. I would be the Jupiter. And there's some kind of like my way, no my way. That's kind of what that is. Yeah, there's a lot of awkward Venus here, but there's a lot. But there's a lot though, I will say that. All right, so we found a ton of Venus aspects, so left and right connecting, but not in a harmonious way, in a like challenging each other, but interested, interested but challenging each other kind of feeling. Interesting though, a lot of drama. That's what I see. And then I went into my synastry with Elvis, and we had Chiron opposition Venus. Okay, so we had this similar wounding Venus thing that's typical musicians. And I wrote about how we've like actually hurt each other. I mean, we've devastated each other. I can't believe this. Oh my god, it's really devastated me. But we've devastated each other. We've never met each other. So it's so incredible that such a thing is even possible. But I'm sure it's twin flames. So we've been hurting each other forever. But we want to get out of that really bad. I know that. I know he feels the same way. So I put up, if you could go through all of this, there was a passage I found about all the musicians who have Chiron and Venus in aspect with each other. And it was like so many of the musicians I put on the blog, you know, these like the painful music. So I put a Jacques Brel and Elvis just as examples of, you know, suffering music. And Chiron and Venus like in action. You can see it so much in it's certainly Jacques Brel. Poor Jacques Brel. I mean, when somebody hurts like that, you can't help but feel sorry for them. Well, he was so cute. Oh, Jacques Brel. Anyway, and Elvis too, obviously. So we found a Venus square Chiron in Elvis's chart. Venus square Chiron. And where does he have Chiron? He's in the 3rd house. Okay, where I have Saturn. Oh no, I can't do houses. Oh well. Anyway, maybe it's in the 3rd house. Who knows? So it definitely hurts. So he has it too. He is yet another example of a painful, suffering musician with Venus square Chiron. So this is now evidence. It's now increasing the evidence. It's really kind of funny. And then who's our other famous artist who suffered Hortense? Turns out she had a perfect alignment between Venus and Chiron. That's unbelievable. I can't believe it. So it's up there, read it. It's incredible. And then Hortense, who was a famous miserable musician, has a perfect alignment, the same degree and everything. What else we got here? Oh, and then I put up my afflicted Venus. My Venus is a joke. I don't even know how I live like this with this kind of Venus. It's crazy. I mean, just look at it for yourself. How does someone even live like this? It's so weird. And I do almost have Chiron trine Venus. It's a little out of aspect, but it's there. I feel it. Okay. So that's my whole story. This is why I'm putting up a little less music, because I think we can really figure astrology out. And if we figure it out, there's no stopping us. I think this is so much of their power is that they know in the time there aren't BS stories. So they know these are my thoughts. Anyway. So here's the letter. See, I'm not too mad. I can remember all of that. I can't believe how mad I got last night. I do get so mad. It's unbelievable. Anyway, so you can see how they subverted Napoleon, how proud he is of himself for winning his wars. They were sucking him in. It's so terrible. Napoleon's whole life was he was subverted. I hate to admit that. But they got to him, and he is a case study, okay, of how they operate. If you want to like manuals on how to deal with them, just see what they did to Napoleon. Okay, because look, they beat Napoleon. It's terrible what they did, and we have to understand them backwards and forwards so they won't beat us this time, okay? And if only everyone had united against Napoleon, Napoleon would have won. The only reason everyone didn't unite against Napoleon is because they controlled the media, and the media lied to people, okay? So this is nothing new, okay? These are historical realities. I am pretty well, my dear love. I am leaving this moment for Augsburg. I have made 30,000 men lay down their arms. I have taken 60 to 70,000 prisoners, over 90 flags, and 200 artillery pieces. Never was a comparable catastrophe in military annals. Keep in good health. I am rather fatigued. The weather has been fine for 3 days. First column of prisoners moves off today for France. Each column is composed of 6,000 men. Napoleon. Okay? That is subversion. Okay? This is Napoleon subverted. It's not the real Napoleon. Okay? I want you to know how to get to him. Okay? because he does have this side of him that loves to be like that, okay? And they know how to get to him with that, okay? I'm just showing you that and the girls, okay? They know exactly how to get to him. Anyway, so let's continue. A giant cream cracker hung in the air above the Jacobs factory at baking hour. The dirigible aroma followed me the short step from the bus stop to the staff house near Fulton Jail. Mr. Mays, the father of my new singing companion, was a medical officer at the prison. I wondered if he thought playing the guitar was a bit daft, or perhaps it was me who he thought was a bit daft. Undoubtedly, his son, Alan, was more confident. He was a better guitarist than me and sang with a strong, true voice, but he must have seen something in me. As we were now up in his room, working through his record collection, trying to find songs to sing together, he was making the case for the Buffalo Springfield and a great song called Raider from Farewell Aldebaran on a straight label by Judy Henske and Jerry Yester, while I sang the praises of Van Morrison's Astral Weeks and Moondance. We eventually settled on a couple songs from another Van record, his band and the street choir, realizing that we could make a decent fist of domino, or even I've been working, but we could have never carried off Slim Slow Slider. It's too much. It's too much. I can't believe that. This happens all the time. Elvis loves humor. I was just saying that. Anyway, incredible. What's going on? Anyway, thank you so much for listening. Hope you have a very good night.